Let me take you through a credible piece of music, or works rather, which usher in our independence celebration. So let me take over the master control, and we're going to give you the song, We Welcome Independence to Guyana. Stay tuned.
Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. President unequivocally asserts Guyana's sovereignty in Diamond Jubilee celebration message to the nation. Major hiccups during hoisting of the golden arrowhead during Diamond Jubilee celebrations. Bobby Vieira attributes saga to organizers' failure to seek advice. RAM calls for economic sovereignty and transparency as Guyana marked 60th independence anniversary. AZRUDDIN questions EDGHILL'S family assets, calls for scrutiny. And in sport, national cyclist Brighton John continues to make waves, this time securing fastest time in the 2026 Cycle Grand Prix in French Guyana. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Tuesday, 26th May 2026 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Happy Independence to all of you. We will begin tonight's broadcast by telling you that Fort Island was a buzz on Monday as thousands descended onto the former Dutch colonial island to witness the historic Guyana's 60th Diamond Jubilee Independence flag-raising celebrations. Marvin Cato was there and filed this report.
Even before the ink dried on our independence, a neighbor rose to challenge our very existence.
That was President Irfan Ali addressing thousands gathered for Guyana's 60th Diamond Jubilee Independence flag-raising ceremony. During his address to the nation from Fort Island, one of 365 gems in the Essequibo River, the president asserted sovereignty over the Essequibo region. Ali used Guyana's 60th independence anniversary celebrations to deliver a strong defense of the country's sovereignty over the Essequibo region amid the ongoing border controversy with Venezuela. With thousands in attendance, President Ali declared that Guyana remains united and confident as the matter continues before the International Court of Justice. Quote unquote, "The Essequibo is Guyana's," the president said to loud applause. Quote unquote, "It has never been Venezuelan." Guyana marks 60 years since independence and celebrated this year's activity under the theme Homecoming. The president reflected on the challenges Guyana faced at independence in 1966, including economic hardship, colonial divisions, and Venezuela's territorial claim over more than 2/3 of Guyana's territory. He noted that the territorial controversy affected Guyana's confidence and development for decades, but said the country never surrendered its sovereignty or national identity.
Crossing the rivers and establishing the fundamental truth that Essequibo belongs completely to Guyana.
The celebrations being held in Essequibo portrayed a powerful symbolism as Guyana continues to build and chart a new course for its destiny. The president described the region as part of Guyana's heartland. He said Guyana remains confident in the validity of the 1899 Arbitral Award, which established the boundary between the two countries and reaffirmed that the International Court of Justice has jurisdiction to decide the matter. President Ali also stressed that Guyana holds no hostility toward the Venezuelan people. The president thanked international partners including CARICOM, the Commonwealth, the United States, and the Organization of American States for supporting Guyana's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The 60th Diamond Jubilee Independence flag-raising celebration delivered government's expectations, a message of strength, hope, peace, and prosperity. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, in one of the most memorable occasions of our country's history, Guyana's 60th Independence Jubilee celebrations, as the curtain was about to be drawn on the day's activities, the unthinkable happened. Here again is Marvin Cato.
The 60th Diamond Jubilee celebrations held on Fourth Island was a spectacle as the cultural presentations took center stage. The atmosphere was ripe with joy and a sense of fulfillment until the unthinkable happened. The golden arrowhead could not be hoisted. Bobby Vieira, veteran broadcaster who played an integral role in the success of Guyana's 50th independence flag-raising celebrations, was left in shock and expressed disgust as the golden arrowhead could not be hoisted at the stroke of midnight.
I thought it was very embarrassing for our president, and he was very, very humiliated.
Vieira said what was also disappointing was that advice was not sought to ensure the process moved smoothly. In 2015, a 100-pound flag was hoisted in central Georgetown at Durban Park. However, the flag which was to be hoisted on Tuesday morning was stuck for more than half of an hour. Vieira said from visual evidence, Guyanese were disappointed since they had to settle for a substitute flag that was hoisted on a smaller pole until the issue with the major flag was sorted.
That size of flag, there's a whole different configuration that must be put in place when you're going to hoist a flag of that size and maybe the weight.
The veteran broadcaster said generally, flags of that size are hoisted on a pole that is designed to take a flag of that magnitude. He said a flag that size should not be twirled. It's hung by one string with a hook at the top that pulls the flag up, and there are hooks along the flagpole, so when the process of mounting commences, it is wound up the flagpole effortlessly.
The error generally is because no advice was sought. This is no poo-poo little flag-raising ceremony in a community. This is a national event, and sometimes people don't understand the importance.
He believes soldiers who participated 10 years ago, who may have retired, but their knowledge could have been sought in order to ensure that the hoisting of the flag for the Diamond Jubilee was a hit and not a miss. He reminded of his experience going to the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago 10 years ago to gain first-hand knowledge how such a flag is successfully hoisted, given its weight and the size. Speaking candidly, Vieira said if anyone is found not to have done their job, then they should not be doing it because it was a major embarrassment to our country. He said when issues like this occur, everything goes viral because we are living in an age where cell phones are always at the ready to capture an event. He emphasized that events of a national nature should not be partisan. There should be an all-hands-on-deck approach. Marvin Cato, reporter for HGP Nightly News.
A clarion call for greater economic sovereignty and transparency was made by Chartered Accountant and Attorney at Law Christopher Ram. Ram argues that true independence could only be achieved when Guyana's natural wealth genuinely serves its people, not foreign interests. Antonio Day filed that report.
At a recent symposium on independence, attorney-at-law and chartered accountant Christopher Ram delivered a powerful reflection on Ghana's journey since its political independence on May 26, 1966. He reminded the audience that while the nation proudly adopted a new flag and symbols of freedom, it never truly gained control over its economy. Key sectors, like bauxite and finance, remain dominated by foreign interests, leaving Guyanese with little say in decisions that shape their economic future.
We got ourselves a new wardrobe, but we did not get ourselves a new economy.
Ram recalled when Ghana took control of bauxite, marking a step toward economic self-determination. Recently, the discovery of vast petroleum reserves promised transformation, but the key question remains: does Ghana's new economy benefit its people?
Our economy continued to be dominated by outsiders. Important sectors like bauxite and the financial institutions by non-Guyanese. Despite
being rich in resources like sugar, bauxite, and oil, many Guyanese continue to live in economic insecurity, the chartered accountant contended.
We Guyanese had no part or lot in the making of vital decisions which could affect our economic progress or retrogression.
Ram candidly acknowledged that while independence and nationalization brought imperfections and failures, some could be corrected from within. The attorney reminded that the struggle for independence is ongoing beyond flags and symbols. It is also about reclaiming control over the country's economic destiny. Meanwhile, Simona Brooms, leader for the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, in her apt message, as Ghana celebrates its 60th independence anniversary, rated the government over the coals for not devising people-centered solutions.
The government, with all the resources, has not demonstrated the ability where Guyana and Guyanese people grow. Education is on the rise. Empowerment of people and even women. How do you empower women? There's a situation I've identified, and I would love to go with you. A few months ago, with a woman living in a car.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, we have more news for you.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Quartz has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
This Saturday and Sunday, come down to Gafour's all-new Home and Office Center, upstairs of the MacDo Mega Complex. We got everything to fix up your place. Recliners, TVs, refrigerators, chandeliers, kitchen appliances, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, toys, back-to-school bags, all under one roof at prices you can't beat. We open Saturday from 7:30 to 4 and Sunday from 9 to 4. And here it is. You getting 10% off store-wide every Sunday. So don't miss this opportunity to save big. Call 223-9896 or come down this weekend to Gafour's all-new Home and Office Center, upstairs of the MacDo Mega Complex. Gafour's, the name you can trust. See you there.
Welcome back. You're with the HGP Nightly News. Opposition leader AZRUDDIN Mohammed is questioning the wealth accumulation, property ownership and employment appointments linked to Public Works Minister Bishop Wan Edghil and members of his family, while calling for increased scrutiny by state oversight agencies. Travis Chase reports.
Opposition leader AZRUDDIN Mohammed has publicly raised questions regarding the reported assets, property holdings, and government-linked employment appointments involving Public Works Minister Bishop Wan Edghil and members of his family. In public statements, Mohammed questioned whether the value of properties and reported assets associated with the minister's family aligned with declared sources of income. Questions were also raised regarding employment appointments involving family members following the People's Progressive Party Civic Administration's return to office in 2020. Mohammed further called for relevant state agencies, including the Financial Intelligence Unit, the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Special Organized Crime Unit, and other oversight bodies to examine matters relating to transparency and accountability where concerns arise involving public officials and politically exposed persons.
Again, President Jagdi, how is this possible on a public servant's salary of less than 1 year? This is blatant corruption of families of the PPP.
The opposition leader also questioned the appointment of one of Minister Edghill's sons to a senior regional administrative position and argued that public office holders should remain subject to scrutiny and transparency measures. HGP Nightly News has sought a response from Minister Edghill, as seen here, regarding the allegations. A message sent seeking comment was not immediately answered up to the time of this report. Any response received will be carried in keeping with the principles of fairness and balance. However, appearing to reference criticism directed at him, Minister Edghill posted on his Facebook page the biblical passage, Revelation 12:10, stating, "The devil is the accuser of the brethren. The truth will always conquer lies." HGP Nightly News will continue to follow developments and provide updates as responses become available. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Traveling between Guyana and Barbados is expected to become much easier from July 1. Here again is Travis Chase.
As reported by Barbados Today, citizens of Guyana and Barbados will soon be able to travel between the two CARICOM nations without requiring a passport. This follows a new agreement announced by both governments as they both celebrate their 60th independence anniversaries. Citizens of the two countries will on July 1 be allowed to use national identification cards instead of passports under a new bilateral travel agreement. Officials from both nations said the move forms part of broader efforts to strengthen regional integration and improve connections between Caribbean people. The arrangement received approval following consultations involving government representatives, regional stakeholders, and CARICOM agencies. Authorities believe the initiative could reduce travel barriers while creating greater opportunities for tourism, business development, cultural exchange, and stronger family connections between both countries. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley described the measure as a meaningful step towards practical Caribbean integration that delivers direct benefits to citizens. Meanwhile, President Afrin Ali said the initiative reflects the long-standing friendship between Guyana and Barbados and supports a wider vision for regional cooperation and accessibility across the Caribbean. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Regional Executive Officer for Region 4, Wan Edghil Jr. says the region's administration will be guided strictly by Guyana's financial, procurement, audit, and local government laws as efforts are being made to address weaknesses previously flagged in national audit reports. More in this report.
Regional Executive Officer for Region 4, Wan Edghil Jr., says his administration will be taking direct steps to address recurring weaknesses flagged in national audit reports, with a strong focus on procurement, financial management, and lawful execution of regional decisions. Speaking against the backdrop of concerns raised in the Auditor General's report over the years, Edghil, the son of Minister Wan Edghil, said he reviewed the findings relating to Region 4 and has examined the deficiencies repeatedly identified. According to him, Those findings will now help guide how the region corrects long-standing administrative weaknesses.
I read 5 years. I read the Auditor General's report 5 years prior to 2026. I looked at all of the recommendations. I looked at all of the red flags that the region was consistently flagged for.
Audit reports have repeatedly raised the concerns across public agencies about breaches in procurement procedures, weak documentation, failure to follow proper processes, and poor management of public funds.
We will have very strong direction from the Fiscal Management and Accountabilities Act, which manages how public finances should be spent.
EDGHILL said the Auditor General's recommendations will be treated as a roadmap for improving the region's performance and correcting deficiencies that have appeared over the years.
Ensuring we give effort in correcting the recommendations of the Auditor General and what he would have recommended that the region does better. So we'll be looking at that, and of course we'll be guided by the Audit Act.
His comments come as public scrutiny grows over regional spending, procurement practices, and accountability in the management of public resources. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, we have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. CVon's waste management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call CVon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
It's game on. And you may not be able to predict the scoreline or who will win each game. And you sure can't predict who will be the champion. But what is predictable is that Quartz has what you need to watch the games the way you want to every time. It's game on. Quartz, bringing value home.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You with the HGP Nightly News. Guyana recorded the highest suicide mortality rate among adolescents and young adults in the Americas in 2021. This is according to a new study published in the LANCET Regional Health Americas. Here's that story.
The study examined suicide deaths among persons aged 10 to 24 across 35 countries in the Americas between 2000 and 2021, using data from the World Health Organization's Global Health Estimates. While the regional focus was broad, the findings on Guyana were especially alarming. The study found that suicide was the leading cause of death among young people aged 10 to 24 in Guyana, along with Suriname and Uruguay. According to the report, Guyana's suicide mortality rate among persons in that age group stood at 21.8 deaths per 100,000 population in 2021. This was far above the regional average of 7.84 deaths per 100,000 population. The study also found that Guyana had the highest youth suicide rate in the Americas, ahead of Suriname, which recorded 20.92 deaths per 100,000 persons, and Uruguay, which recorded 16.09 deaths per 100,000 persons. The gender breakdown also showed a heavy burden among both young males and females in Guyana. The suicide mortality rate among young males was estimated at 28.97 deaths per 100,000 persons, while the rate among young females stood at 14.43 deaths per 100,000 persons. Although Guyana's rate remained the highest in the region, the study noted that Guyana was the only country with a suicide rate above the regional average that showed a declining trend over the period reviewed. However, the decline was not statistically significant. The report also pointed to a distinct concern in Guyana, the method of suicide. It found that pesticide poisoning accounted for 64.2% of suicide deaths among adolescents and young adults in Guyana, making it one of the countries where toxic substances played the largest role in youth suicide deaths. Across the Americas, Hanging, strangulation, or suffocation was the most common method, but Guyana's pattern differed sharply because pesticide exposure was the dominant method among young people. The study said access to lethal means, including toxic substances, is an important factor in suicide prevention. It argued that restricting access to common methods of suicide remains one of the most effective prevention strategies, especially among adolescents and young adults. The findings present a serious public health warning, even with signs of a possible decline. The country's youth suicide rate remains far above the regional average and continues to demand targeted prevention, stronger mental health services, and closer attention to pesticide access among vulnerable young people. Marvin Cato, reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Guyana, up your cash! Over 100 winners! More than $2.5 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Win cash every week. Plus a chance to up your cash to $500,000. And that's not all. Win back your grocery bill up to $20,000 cash every week. Just grab any Buster Turbo Energy Drink, Fruitopia, Oasis Flavored Water, Fruita, or Viva Sparkling Flavored Water. Look for the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana on Facebook or Instagram for details. Up your cash today!
Make your home look great with sash windows from Gaffurs. They're fitted with 4mm thick glass, with a male and female frame that's easy to join. Comes with a built-in mosquito screen. You can adjust the opening for ventilation to suit yourself. And it has a safety locking mechanism too. Yes, Gaffurs sash windows not only look good, they've got all the great features that make them the best design in windows anywhere. Get Gaffurs sash windows for the perfect fit and finish for your home from the MacDo Mega Store and Gaffurs outlets of Parika, Means, Land of Canaan, Rose Hall, Beatty, Kanji, and Diamond. Call 223-9896 for more information anytime. Gaffurs, the name you can trust.
Welcome to today's regional news. I am Giselle Archibald. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Dr. HGP has pushed back against mounting criticism over more than $1 billion in hurricane donations that remain largely unspent months after Hurricane Melissa, accusing critics of promoting what he described as common nonsense, while ignoring the broader scale of the government's recovery effort. A real-time audit by the Auditors General Department had found that only $26.2 million of the $1.44 billion in cash donations in the wake of Category 5 hurricane had been spent up to April. The report also noted that funds donated after Hurricane Beryl in July 2024 also remained unspent. He said the controversy had become one of the fiercest political attacks facing his administration, disclosing that even people who supported the government were struggling to defend it. Ian Roberts, the Guyana-born former superintendent of Iowa's largest school district, should spend up to 37 months in prison after pleading guilty to federal criminal offenses tied to his immigration status and a firearm possession, according to a sentencing recommendation filed by U.S. prosecutors. Roberts, once regarded as a rising figure in American education, pleaded guilty in January to falsely claiming U.S. citizenship in order to secure the position of superintendent for a public school in 2023, as well as unlawful possession of 4 firearms as an undocumented immigrant. In a sentencing memorandum filed Friday, U.S. Attorney David Waterman argued that Roberts betrayed the public's trust and should receive the maximum recommended sentence under federal guidelines. According to the recommendation, a pre-sentence investigation report determined Roberts should serve between 30 to 37 months in prison. Prosecutors argued against any reduced sentencing, noting that Roberts is expected to be deported to Guyana after serving his prison term. And finally, internationally, Iran said the United States had violated a ceasefire after the U.S. conducted what it called defensive strikes in southern Iran, while U.S. Secretary of State said that negotiating a deal to halt the conflict could take a few days. Both sides had indicated progress on a memorandum of understanding that could halt the war and restart shipping through the block strait, while giving negotiators 60 days to negotiate more complex issues, including Iran's nuclear program. The war, which began with U.S. and Israel strikes on Iran on February 28, has caused an unprecedented oil supply shock, pushing up oil prices along with the cost of fuel, fertilizer, and food. Iran responded to the strike by launching drones and missiles at Gulf states that host U.S. bases. And that's the news to the moment. I am Giselle Archibald. Thank you for watching.
Let's now join Delwyn Neblett for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblett with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Tuesday, May 26, 2026. We begin tonight with football. History was made on Friday as the 2026 Blue Water Shipping Under-15 Girls Football Championship hosted its first fixture in Kabakaburi Region 2. The match featured the Kabakaburi Secondary School versus Charity Secondary School and ended in a 2-0 victory in favor of Charity on the back of a Kabakaburi own goal and a sensational strike from Rosina Wilson. Inter-athletics action took place in the Ghana Overseas-Based Sports Association's 2026 Independence Track and Field Classic at the National Track and Field Center in Lenora on Saturday. Kenisha Phillips secured both the women's 200 meters and 400 meters titles as Tonya Rollins secured the women's 100 meters title. On the men's side, Onezi Dunn secured the 100 meters title as Shamar Horatio emerged as champion in the 200 meters. Revon Williams claimed victory in the men's 400 meters as Ebo McNeil secured both the boys' 800 meters and 1500 meters titles. Also securing individual titles were Atoya Harvey, Javon Roberts, and reigning Carifta champion Olivia Solomon. Christian Bergwisma Secondary emerged victorious in the school's 4x400 meters and mixed 4x100 meters relays as the Ghana Defence Force secured both club relay titles. Inter-tennis action concluded in Ghana's 60th Independent Anniversary Tennis Open at the National Park Courts in Georgetown on Sunday. Nathan Denobrega emerged as the men's Open singles champion after an epic battle against Gerald Scotland in the grand final. Africa Gentle secured the women's Open singles title as Philip Squires was victorious in the men's 35 singles category. In the novice category, Harry Wu and Jadil Hari secured the men's and women's titles respectively, as Isabella Granham and Zion Hickerson secured the under-12 titles. Inter-basketball action took place in Swoosh Sports' 60th Independence Anniversary Homecoming Classic at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall in Georgetown over the weekend. After a highly entertaining all-star game, President's College were officially crowned champions of Guyana's 2026 Schools Basketball League on Saturday, as the Diaspora Select secured a narrow 80-79 victory over the Ghana Select in overtime. On Sunday, Amelia's Ward secured a hard-fought 71-63 victory over the UG Trojans, as the Ghana Select secured a dominant 93-65 victory over the Diaspora Select in the feature encounter. Finally, in cycling, national cyclist Brighton John continues to make his mark on the international stage, competing in the 2026 Grand Prix Cycliste de Quest in French Guyana while representing the Sinemary Cycling Club on Sunday. John delivered an impressive performance in the 14 kilometers individual time trial to secure the fastest time of 15 minutes and 20 seconds ahead of Benjamin Bousquet in second and overall leader Larry Lutin in third. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I am Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
President unequivocally asserts Guyana's sovereignty in Diamond Jubilee celebration message to the nation. Major hiccups during hoisting of the golden arrowhead during Diamond Jubilee celebrations. Bobby Vieira attributes saga to organizers' failure to seek advice. RAM calls for economic sovereignty and transparency as Guyana marked 60th independence anniversary. AZRUDDIN questions EDGHILL'S family assets, calls for scrutiny. And in sport, national cyclist Brighton John continues to make waves, this time securing fastest time in the 2026 Cycle Grand Prix in French Guyana. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.
Let me take you to a credible piece of music, or works rather, which usher in our independence celebration. So let me take over the master control, and we're going to give you the song, We Welcome Independence to Guyana. Stay tuned.
Everybody, jump and be merry. Oh, we welcome independence to Guyana. Thank you, Britain, for the years of colonial ruling. We now sing songs of praise to remember those happy British days. Independence had its purpose, which will not be a little push. We know there'll be ups and downs, but the natives will soon settle down. Oh, we welcome, oh, we welcome, oh, we welcome independence to Guyana. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody, jump and be merry. So we welcome independence to Guyana. Oh, let's go now. We welcome, oh we welcome, oh we welcome independence to Guyana. Everybody, jump and be merry. So we welcome independence to Guyana. Hip hip hip, hooray! Hip hip hip, hooray! Hip hip hip, hooray! Welcome, oh we welcome, oh we welcome independence to Guyana. Everybody, jump and be merry. Oh, we welcome